It's a real pleasure to introduce our final speaker of the Rotary year here. There's a wonderful, wonderful friend and mentor to me, and certainly, though he's not a member of this club, has, I think, his entire life passed the four-way test and has upheld those values and been an example to very many people in our community. Ron Anderson recently retired as Associate Artistic Director of the Springer Opera House, the State Theater of Georgia, a position he held since 1996. Ron was also founder and director of the Springer Theater Academy, the Springer's young actor training program with over 700 active students in year-round training. Ron has been a professional actor, director, and theater teacher for over 30 years, working in regional theaters and children's theaters in the Midwest and Southeast. At the Springer, Ron has directed many productions, including Cinderella, The Wizard of Oz, To Kill a Mockingbird, and Hair of the Wind, The Diary of Anne Frank, Man of La Mancha, Jekyll and Hyde, Phantom, The Crucible, My Fair Lady, and the production of Shrek the Musical. No longer upcoming. We need to update this bio right there. He has also directed many of the Springer Children's Theater productions, including James the Giant Peach, The Big Friendly Giant, Amazing Grace, Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, Sideways Stories from Wayside School, Bridge to Terabithia, plus The Little Baby Snoogle and Olivia Town, both of which he wrote. Ron has played leading roles in Cotton Patch Gospel, Frost Nixon, The Odd Couple, A Tuna Christmas, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, On Golden Pond, The Foreigner, and Of Mice and Men. He holds a BA in English from the University of Georgia, where he also did master's work in theater performance. Ron has trained in mime, dance, and clowning at the Valley Studio for Movement Arts in Spring Green, Wisconsin. Originally from Macon, Georgia, Ron lives in Columbus with his wife, Debbie, a professional singer and voice teacher, and their son, Max, who is a recent graduate of Hardaway High School. Among the jobs Ron has worked over the years while trying to make a living in the theater are pizza delivery guy, construction worker, college teacher, bartender, mime, sawmill worker, janitor, carpenter, stilt walker, fry cook at a ski lodge, factory worker, middle school teacher, ice cream truck driver, singing telegram deliverer, snowplow operator, and baker of communion wafers. So I'm very proud to introduce your speaker for today, Ron Anderson.
You may want to know about the communion wafer thing. Ask Debbie. First, a couple of disclaimers. I don't pretend to be an expert on anything except what is happening to me, and even there, I think the jury is probably out. Second, I think it's easy to be positive, upbeat, and brave when you're not in a lot of pain. I know some people who are. I think I'm lucky in a way that has not been my experience. Chemotherapy seems to have exempted me from that particular aspect of my illness. But cancer is not the only thing I think about. It's also not the only thing I talk about. Yes, it is something that I have. I also have big ears. Now, neither of those things define me. Neither of those things are bigger than me. Well, okay, maybe the ears. But neither of those things determine what I do each day, how I interact with people, what I hope to accomplish, or what I think is my purpose in life. And neither of those things are our topic for the day. What I'd really like to talk about is baseball. I love baseball. Always have. Played it a lot when I was a kid, not so much after high school, but until then I could not get enough. Playing the game, watching the game, thinking about the game, and my childhood heroes, those gods, Mantle, Maris, Mays, and Aaron, Koufax and Drysdale, Killebrew and Yastrzemski. Some of you remember them. I can still name the 1964 Yankees. Behind the plate, Elston Howard. On first base, Joe Pepitone. At second, Bobby Richardson. Tony Kubek at short. Clete Boyer at third. In left field, Tom Tresh. In right field, Roger Maris. And in center field, Mickey Mantle. And on the mound, Al Downing, Jim Bouton, Ralph Terry, and Whitey Ford. They were gods to me. But you know what's interesting? 1964 was actually probably the end of the Yankee dynasty. Bob Gibson and the Cardinals took care of that. Thank you, St. Louis. And so I abandoned my Bronx worship and looked elsewhere for heroes. The Milwaukee Braves, remember them, had just come to Atlanta. And I thought, I will love the Braves. The Braves didn't make it easy. Some of you remember the 60s Braves, they did not make it easy to love. And so I drifted away from baseball for a while until, interestingly enough, Debbie and I moved to Milwaukee. And I fell in love with the Brewers. I loved going to County Stadium to see Paul Molitor, to see Robin Yount, to see Cecil Cooper and Gorman Thomas, and on the mound, Mike Caldwell, Don Sutton, Raleigh Fingers. Man, what a team. They were a team. Now, at the time, the Milwaukee Brewers were in the American League. So it was really great several times during the year when a certain Eastern rich ball club came to town. And I had learned by then what most people had learned long before me, and that is to hate the Yankees. Some of you still do. Except for one Yankee, I'll have to admit, I always had a great admiration for that showman of showmen, Reggie Jackson. My goodness, how that man could command a field. If you've never seen him, it's really something. He had a confidence in his walk like no person I have ever seen before. I believe he could hit a home run anytime he wanted to. And if he looked around and noticed that the stands weren't full, I swear he would intentionally lean into a pitch, get hit, charge the mound, throttle the pitcher, and prompt a benches clearing brawl that would guarantee a sellout the next night. Well, it turns out Reggie Jackson had a clause in his contract. Above a certain percentage of attendance, Jackson got a cut of the gate. Talented and smart. But Debbie and I were actors. We moved around a lot. And so we left Milwaukee, and we sort of left, or I left anyway, my baseball passion for a while. And you fast forward 2015. I love the new Braves. I don't know about you, but I love them. I've been to see them several times now. I know it was weird when they fired their general manager and started selling all their best players. That was weird. Among the faithful, there was weeping, wailing, gnashing of teeth. I get that. But turns out the Braves might have been pretty smart. They were no longer a playoff-worthy team. So they unloaded some guys, cut their payroll in about half, and decided to start over. And now they've got a bunch of scrappy no-names who go out there every night. And they play good, solid baseball, and they are fun to watch. Right, Chuck? Right, Cam? They're fun to watch. Yes, we still need a bullpen, okay? Right. And we're not going to make the playoffs this year, probably not next year, but in a couple of years, they're going to be contenders. And I got to think the 90s could happen again. But the 60s Yankees and the 80s Brewers and the new Braves and a questionable move to Cobb County, none of those are our topic for the day. Our topic for the day is something still about baseball, but something more interesting, more challenging, more fundamental. The curveball. What happens when you face a curveball? Now, for those of us who played the game, we understand that the curveball is the great humiliator, the great equalizer on the field. A good curve can make even the very best of hitters look foolish. I was not one of the very best of hitters. I looked foolish often. So what happens is you're standing in the box. In the batter's box, the ball is coming. And you have about a half a second to see the ball, gauge the speed, watch the rotation, and then you have to choose fastball or breaking ball. You have to make a decision. Now, if you're a right-handed batter and you're facing a left-handed pitcher, the ball tends to break toward you. Okay? So if you're attentive and patient, you have a chance to hit it. But if you're a right-handed batter facing a right-handed pitcher, the ball tends to break down and away from you. You swing, and you hope, but most often you end up chasing the ball, and you look like an idiot. Believe me, I know. You chase the ball. But the worst thing that happens is when the ball is coming right at you, and I mean right at your head, and you've got like a half a second to decide. Fastball, duck. Back out. Get out of the way or you're going to get beamed. Curveball, stay in the box. Wait for the pitch to break. Swing and hope for the best. But what if you're not sure? What if you're not sure and the ball is coming at you and you've got a half a second to decide fastball or breaking ball? And I don't care how much coaching you've had or how much practice you've had. It's just you in the box, and that is a lonely, lonely feeling. And you're standing there and you're trying to remember, what did coach say? Stay in the box, wait for the break. Easy for him to say, the ball's not coming at him. The ball's coming at me. And I'm starting to sweat. And I'm not sure about my grip on the bat. And the ball's coming hard and it's coming right at my head. And the voices inside my head are starting to panic. Stay in the box. Wait for the break. Are you crazy? Get out. Duck. Back away. No, stay in the box. Get out of the box. Stay in the box. Back away. Stay in the box. Get out of the way. And life comes down to a half a second. And your best guess. And try not to look foolish. Oh, if only life were so simple as waiting for a pitch to break. But you see, the biggest curveballs in life are not the ones that happen on the field. The biggest curveballs in life are not the ones that come from a big, mean-looking right hander. The biggest curveballs in life are not the ones that happen when you're waiting, when you're ready, when you're eager to decide what is the pitch. The biggest curveballs in life come when you don't even know you're playing the game. You have a life, you have a plan, you have a forward momentum, but life can change in a second, in a half a second, in a blink. A car runs a stoplight and crashes into you. You get a phone call. Your child has been seriously hurt on the school playground. A tornado comes out of nowhere, decimates your house, your business, your town. Life can change forever in a half a second. Last fall, I had a stomachache. I was directing a show at the Springer, Shrek the Musical. Maybe some of you saw it. And when you're directing, you get into a rhythm. It's like a 24/7 thing. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't sleeping well. I had a stomachache. I tried ignoring it. I tried over the counter. I tried a prescription. Nothing worked. I went to my doctor and he says, let's do some tests. Next thing I know, I'm in for a biopsy, and Andy Roddenberry is looking at the scan, and then he's looking at me. And he says, in his kindest but most straightforward manner, it's pancreatic, it's stage 4. I'm sorry. Wait a minute, I don't understand. No indicators, no family history, no symptoms to mention a stomachache. I have pancreatic, stage 4. Talk about a curveball coming right at you. And I got to tell you, at that moment, that half second, I wanted more than anything to duck. Step away, back out of the box. But ever since that day, October 10, 2014, I've been trying to stay. But I got to tell you, it is a lonely, lonely feeling. Some of you in this room know that feeling. But you know, I've had some help. loving and supportive family. Debbie and Max are my anchor. My extended family, Cameron and Teresa, they are my anchor. What they have been through and what they will go through is not fair. It's not fair. But they haven't questioned it. They are in the batter's box with me. Andy Pippas and his amazing team at John B. Amos, some staff members of whom are cancer patients themselves. They are in the batter's box with me. My brothers and sisters in the fight that I have met, that I have laughed with, cried with, taken inspiration from, offered encouragement to, they are in the batter's box with me. This incredible outpouring of support from this community, from the Springer, from the students at the Theater Academy, the supporters at St. Thomas Church, people in this room, people at this table, some people I don't even know. They are in the batter's box with me. And God. Now I know that some people believe God is on the mound. God is the one throwing the pitches. Maybe. I don't believe that. I don't think that's the way it works. And I say that because I can feel God's arms around my arms as I hold the bat. Curveballs are going to happen. They're going to come. We don't have any control over that any more than a batter has control over what a pitcher throws. We can't determine that. We cannot control that. What we can control is our reaction. What we can choose is what we use that half a second for. What we do have some say-so about is who is in the batter's box with us. So that's how it works. Family, friends, community, God, we're all in the box together, waiting for the pitch to break and trying our best to hit that son of a gun. So I'm here today to say just one thing. Live your life. Live it fully. I think of every day as a gift. Every day is a blessing. You don't have to have a dramatic illness to appreciate the possibilities of today. You really don't. Yes, I know cancer is a pretty good motivator, but you can find clarity without it. You really can. Those curveballs are going to come. We can't control that. But like I said, we can control something about who's with us, who's in the box. So when the curveball comes in your life, stay in the box. Wait for the break. And remember, you are not alone. You are not alone. And if that pitch turns out not to be a curve, and a fastball instead, well, at least you won't be the only person to get beamed. Thank you, and stay strong.
We have a very small token of our appreciation, and it's a coffee mug, and I hope you'll use it at Ron Bank when you go there and remember your day with us, because it was a special day for me and a special day for all of us. We appreciate it very much. To all our visiting Rotarians and guests, thank you for being here with us, as you make us better by sharing your time with us. And that, folks, is the end of the year, and that's all she wrote. With no further business, we're adjourned.